So okay. So can you see this blank screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So today I'm going to continue the discussion on discontinuous functions, and we will discuss. I'm going to cover two models. One is production, and the other is a market structure. So the first case is marginal product function with a capacity constraint. Now, what is marginal productivity? Let us say labor, that when we increase labor input, how much does output go up? Actually, the technical definition is the increase in labor input has to be very small, tends to zero. So mathematically, we write total product or output by DL, or simply let us say dq by dl when q is a function of output is a function of labor. Now, what is the shape of a marginal product function?
First increasing and then decreasing.
Okay,
Then goes in negative quadrant.
yeah, very good. The conventional marginal productivity is inverse U shape. So this is the conventional marginal productivity. Now, under certain circumstances, either for the entire range or for a particular interval, we can have a marginal product curve like this. So this is a constant marginal product. Okay. So if we go on increasing labor by 1 unit, output will always go up by the same amount. So labor increased by 1 unit, output increases by the same amount. So it is always del Q. Okay. Now we are going to discuss a very special type of production function where the marginal product is discontinuous. So in both the cases that we showed in the previous slide, marginal product was continuous. Okay. Now, we had written the production function as in this form. But often, in general, the production function can be written in terms of in this way. So output depends upon labor and capital, but we are employing a fixed stock of capital. Okay. So that means if, let us say, K is equal to K bar 1, we can draw a, let's suppose it's constant. Okay. So we will have a marginal product curve like this. If K equal to K bar 2, which is greater than K1, what will be the marginal product? It will still be constant, but will it lie?
Above one.
It will lie
Lie
above.
above.
Above
Yes.
K1.
So MP will be like this. And sorry, just 1 minute. This is suppose less than K bar 1. In that case,
Will lie below.
it will lie below. Okay. And if we have the conventional inverse U shaped, it will be like this. This is for K equal to 0. This is for K equal to 1. And this is for K equal to 2. Okay.
So won't K1 be below 0? Oh, no, sir. Never mind. I got confused.
I'm numbering it sequentially. Okay. Okay. Now, again, over here, what we are assuming is that for a given K, it is always possible to increase output by increasing your labor input. Okay. So as you go on increasing labor, this is L1, this is L2. As you go on increasing labor, your output is going to go up. What is your output? It is simply the integral of this area, right? See, if MP is equal to this, what is Q? It is simply the integral of del Q by del L from 0 to L1 or L2 or L3. Okay, so you can see initially output was this. When you increase it to L2, output becomes, when you increase it to L3, output increases to this amount. Okay, so you can go on increasing labor. You can always go on increasing output by increasing labor. Here, in this, when the marginal product curve is inverse U-shaped, that also is true. The only difference is how much does output increase. Okay. So let's save this. Okay. Now, the question that we want to ask is that suppose we introduce a capacity constraint. What does it mean? Consider a thermal power station. So output here is the energy or electricity or power that is being generated. That is the output, and it depends upon two things. It depends upon coal, how much coal you employ, and it also depends upon the capital. Okay. So depend if you increase coal, you are going to generate more energy. And capital is fixed. So capital is the fixed input, coal is the variable input. Okay. Now the problem in case of a thermal power station is that there's a maximum limit to the power or energy that can be generated. Okay. So that means if you just go on adding coal, output will initially go on increasing, but after a certain time, you will reach the capacity. So this maximum limit is called capacity of the thermal plant. And let us say that it has a 1500 megawatt capacity per hour. That means in a particular hour, the maximum energy that the plant can generate is 1500. Okay. So what is the daily capacity?
24 into 1500.
Which is 36,000 megawatt per day. That is the capacity. So that means if you go on adding coal, your energy production will go up, but you cannot, in a particular day, you cannot produce more than 36,000. So that means if you increase coal use, energy production will go up, but only up to 36,000 in a day. We are taking the day as the unit. Okay. Now, we assume that it takes 250 kg of coal to generate 1 megawatt per hour. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Just check. Let me check one thing. So if it takes 250 pounds of coal to generate 1 megawatt hour of energy. Okay. Sorry, this is. So 1 ton of coal will generate 8 megawatt of energy. Okay, so we are just getting this from the relation between pound and ton. You can ignore this part. Focus on this. 1 ton of coal will generate 8 megawatts of energy. So what is the marginal product of coal?
8 megawatt.
It is 8 megawatt. Okay. Okay. So let us start from 0 and we increase coal by 1 ton. Okay. So what will be the marginal product? It will be 8. If you make it 2, it will still be 8. Okay. So coal 1, 2. What is marginal product? It is a constant, always 8. And what is total product? It is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. 3 units.
24.
24 and so on. Okay. Now you reach, let us say, 1,500 by 8. How much is it? This is 1. 70 will be 8. And what is 80? No, it's 60. Right. 187.5. Okay. Now suppose we go on increasing the marginal product. How are we getting total product? 3 into 8, the amount of coal into marginal product. That is giving me the total product. Okay. Now, this is 8. And what is the maximum capacity? It is 36,000. Okay. So 36,000 by 8. This will be
So 4500.
4,500. Okay. So that means if you come to over here, this is the marginal product curve and your total product goes up like this. Right. It is 4,000. Sorry, this will be 36,000. Okay. After this, after 4,500, what is your output? What is your marginal product? Remember,
So it will be 0.
it now, yeah, you have a capital constraint, and so marginal product will fall to 0. So this is the marginal product, and your total product now becomes constant. So if you go on increasing your output, coal consumption, total product will not increase, marginal product will become 0. So the marginal product can be, how can we write this? If your coal is what is marginal product?
8.
It is 8.
Constant at 8.
And if coal is greater than 4,500, it becomes
0.
0.
Okay. So we can see that it marginal product goes on like this, then just after 4,500, it drops to 0. So this function is discontinuous. So under normal circumstances, if you assume that the production function comprises of only one input, labor, or if you assume that the other input, capital, does not create any capacity constraint, then we can have the two types of marginal product curves that we drew before, that is either constant or inverse U-shaped. But if you have a capacity constraint, then the marginal product curve will become discontinuous. Instead of a continuous marginal product, you have a discontinuous marginal product with a discontinuity occurring at the capacity constraint, the point where the fixed stock of capital creates a capacity constraint, the maximum limit that can be produced given the stock of capital. So is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, we turn to a different type of problem, which is called Bertrand model. Has the MD discussed markets with you? What we mean by a market?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is a market?
Consumer and
Market is a place
The market
where
is an
buyers
arrangement
and
where buyers
sellers
and sellers come for the respective transaction.
Have you played Austria, Russia, Prussia? Okay. So it's played by, the more people you have, it's better. It's ideal for your class. So what we can do is, what is done is, the first, let's see how many of you are there, about 30. So the first 10 roll numbers, they are Austrians. Then 11 to 20 is Prussians. And 21 to 30 is the Russians. So I'll say 1, 2, and 3, and everyone will have to unmute yourself and shout the name of your country. So if you can do it successfully, the noise is very interesting, and apparently the sound is like that of a huge sneeze. No one will understand what you're saying, but it can make a very odd type of sound. So when all of you are answering the question, it becomes something like Austria, Russia, Prussia. So let me ask someone specifically. Okay, Akanksha Shaha. Can you please unmute yourself? Akanksha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is a market?
So a market is an arrangement where buyers and sellers come together. We're supposed to say this, right? Not the Austria thing, right?
And then what do? Do they play Austria, Russia, Prussia? Or do they play cricket?
They come together for economic purposes, for buying and selling goods and services.
Okay. So the market is a arrangement the market is an institution which allows exchange of goods and services. Okay. So you have two types of persons. You have consumers who wants to buy the commodity and their preference for the commodity is revealed by the demand curve. And you have the producers who wants to sell the commodity or service and their behavior is revealed through the supply curves. Okay. And exchange is facilitated by price. Okay. Now we can think of different types of markets. Generally, markets are divided or classified according to the number of producers. Uh, Generally, the number of consumers is assumed to be large. Okay. Okay. If the number of producers are also very large, we call this a perfectly competitive market. And we say that perfect competition prevails. On the other hand, you can have only one producer or one seller. In this case, what do we call the market?
Monopoly.
Okay. Okay. Can you guess what duopoly is?
So there are two sellers and many buyers.
Many buyers.
There are two sellers. In fact, if you have a few producers, we call it oligopoly.
Oligopoly.
And duopoly is a special case of oligopoly. So if you want to model oligopoly, then we generally use the duopoly model in order to arrive at the predictions. Just to vent your curiosity, what does monopsony mean?
One buyer.
So one buyer and many sellers.
One buyer.
One buyer, many sellers.
And if you have one buyer, one seller, it is called bilateral monopoly. Okay. Okay. Now, if you compare between perfect competition and monopoly, in a perfectly competitive market, you have a large number of buyers and a large number of sellers. So this has a very important implication that all agents are price takers. They cannot determine price. Why can't they determine price? Just think of a simple example that you go to the market and there's a large number of people who are selling uh, the same commodity. Okay. So what you can do is, if one particular seller is charging a higher price, will the people buy from him? Will consumers buy from him?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
They will not buy from him. So a single producer or single seller cannot increase price above the market rate. Now suppose he lowers his price slightly below the market rate. What will happen?
Everyone will
He will
buy
face
from
the
him.
So other will also decrease.
In that case, the others will follow suit. They will also reduce prices. Now you're making, when you're answering the questions, you're making a very important assumption. Can you tell me what the assumption is?
that all
That
the
the people
People
agents
are
have
rational.
complete information.
Yeah, who said about information?
Sir Kritika, me.
Okay. Okay. So the assumption over here is that the consumers have information. See, suppose the market is very large and there's one person who is selling at a lower price and he's selling in one corner. So when you enter the market, you will have to go through the entire gamut of sellers before you reach him. Unless you know that this person always sells at a lower price, you will have to ask each and every. So you know that there's one person who sells at a lower price, but you don't know who he is. So in that case, you will have to search for him. And this leads to search costs. So that means you'll have to go to each person, ask what is the price that you're selling. If it's equal to the market rate, you go to the next person. And therefore, what is happening? What is the cost that you have to pay? The name is search costs, but do you have to pay something?
The time.
Time. Typically, there's a type of market which I don't want to cover. It's called the tourist trap model. See, sometimes if you go to a tourist spot, you will see that there are a large number of shops nearby. If you go to Agra, for instance, just outside Taj Mahal, there's a huge number of shops. I don't know how many, 50, 60. Now, the problem is all of them, most of them are charging exorbitant rates and their quality is also not good. Now, out of this huge number of sellers, there may be one or two shops which are selling at the right price and they are selling genuine marble commodities. Okay. Now, when you have come as a tourist, let us suppose you are on a conducted tour. So the tour guide tells you that, okay, you have to get down from the bus and you have got 3 hours. 2 hours for Taj Mahal, 1 hour for shopping. So in this 1 hour, if you go on searching for him, searching for the cheap quality product, you may not be able to find him, right? So the assumption over here is that you have perfect information, as a result of which search cost becomes 0. Oh God, I'd better not write anything. Okay. Okay. But let us, for the moment, let us ignore the search costs. So we are going to assume that throughout our discussion, that search cost is equal to 0. So if search cost is equal to 0, then if you sell above the market price, no one will buy from you. If your price is equal to the market price, demand is shared equally, right? So if people want to buy 100 units, this will get shared among the producers. And if you sell at below market price, you capture the market, but then other producers will respond by lowering their price. Okay, so now you have MP1. So if again you lower your price below MP1, again you capture the market in the first round. In the second round, MP1 is lowered to MP2, right? So this process goes on. Can it continue indefinitely?
No.
What I'm asking is, can market price what is the limit?
Cost.
So the cost.
Yeah.
So the cost.
Remember, AC equal to price is your breaking even.
Break-even point.
Yeah. So if price is greater than AC, you're getting a profit. If price is less than AC, you will suffer a loss and you will not produce. Right? Now, in this case, AC equal to price, you're not getting any profit, right? Why are we producing?
To cover the cost.
Cover the cost of variable, the
So the
variable cost.
cost.
See, when we are talking about profit, we have two types of profit: normal profit and supernormal profit. Normal profit is the profit that you expect, and this is included in costs. So it is part of cost. So average cost is the cost of production plus normal profit. Okay. And when we are talking about this profit, this is actually supernormal profit. Profit above what you're expecting. Is it clear? Is it clear or will I repeat?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Repeat the bit about normal profit once.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Could you repeat your question?
It's a normal profit.
Okay. See, you have some, you're sitting at home and you're idle. You're not doing any work, but you have some money. Okay. Now, you could have put your money into the bank and got some in a fixed deposit and earn some money, right? So let us say that if you invest your money, you would have got 6,000 rupees per month. Now, if you're starting production, then unless you are getting at least 6,000, does it make sense to become a producer?
No, sir.
Okay. So here, this 6,000 is something that you expect. This is the minimum that you want because you have entered production. This is what we call normal profit. Unless you get 6,000, you're going to leave the market. Now, because of certain circumstances, you're getting 8,000 as profit. Okay, so the extra 2,000, that is called supernormal profit. Now, this normal profit is included as cost. So average cost is basically the actual cost of production, cost of using labor, capital, electricity, raw materials, and so on, plus your normal profit. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. That is why average cost equal to price means it implies that you're just getting your normal profit. You're just getting 6,000. You're bringing home 6,000, so you are happy. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So what we are seeing that no one will sell above the market price, right? But if you sell at the market price, then every person, an individual, will have the incentive to reduce his price slightly. Now, when he does, this sets off a chain reaction. Other producers lower lower the price. So you have a new market price, MP1. Then someone else again reduces price slightly. Everyone follows suit. And in this way, market price continues to fall. So what happens is, over time, your marginal price will continue to, your market price will continue to fall. But can it fall indefinitely? It will fall only up till average cost. Okay. Up till the break-even point. If market price falls below this, there's no point in producing. You're not getting your normal profit. So it's better to leave the market, invest your money in fixed deposit, and stay at home. Okay. So in a perfect competition, what is the price that will result? Price will be equal to average cost in a perfectly competitive market. Is this argument clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you go to the other extreme, monopoly, what will happen? You have got only one seller. So if he says that, look, I know the fair price is 10 rupees, but I'm going to charge you 15 rupees. And if you don't like it, don't buy from me. So what can you do?
So
we
You
have
go
to
to,
pay
you
15
have to
rupees
accept the
because there's
price.
only one seller.
So here, the monopolist can set the price. Now this, as you'll see later on, has a cost. But he can say that, okay, I'm going to charge P, and this has to be accepted by the consumers. Okay. Now remember that this is perfect competition, and at the other extreme, you have got monopoly. And duopoly is just on the side of this monopoly. Okay. What would you expect in a duopoly? Would you expect price taking by consumers? Or would you expect that price falls to average cost, as in a perfect competition? So this is
So it
monopoly.
depends on the seller.
Price taking by
Both
consumers.
price
Sellers?
taking.
Sellers?
Actually, it becomes we have to compare. Like if one seller is selling at a lower price, then everyone will buy from him and not the other person. So he has to further reduce it again to come into back into the competition.
Okay, but if you look at the structure, right? Okay, duopoly is close to monopoly. And which type of structure it will follow actually depends upon how producers uh, take their decisions. There are two types of model. One is called a Kurno model, in which the firm decides on output. Okay, so you have got two firms. You decide on Q1 and Q2. So what is the total demand? Sorry, what is the total supply? Q1 plus
Q1
Q2.
plus Q.
Okay. So if the market is to clear, the entire output is to be sold, we require D equal to S, right? So
Yes,
just
sir.
think of it in this way.
Yes, sir.
You have a demand curve and this is S. So what is the price that has to be charged? This. Okay. So P star is accepted by all firms.
Sir, why will price be equal to AC here?
Why will?
Price be equal to AC here?
Price will not be equal to AC over here. I didn't say it.
But you have written price equals to AC.
No, no. What I said, what I was asking this question,
Oh, okay.
that do we have this or do we have this? In perfect competition, we have price equal to AC.
Yes, sir.
And
I
in
got it.
monopoly, we have price. Yeah. So which of them will occur in a duopoly? Okay. So in case of a Kurno model, we have this. In case of a Bertrand model, what happens is firms decides on price. And then the consumers say that, okay, we want to buy this. So they sell whatever they can. Okay. Now the interesting thing is, intuitively, does it matter which type of model we take? Ideally, it should not matter if you have the same type of demand curve and supply curves. So ideally, in both cases, the market equilibrium should be same. But you will see that if you have the Bertrand model, the solution will be similar to a perfectly competitive equilibrium or solution. Okay. I will show this now, but is what I'm trying to, is the basic problem understood? That what we are trying to prove? Okay, I'll just repeat. See, in perfect competition, all the agents are price takers. So both producers and consumers have to accept the market price. And as a result of this, if you have perfect information, the price will fall down, will get reduced until it equals to average cost. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, isn't monopoly firms supposed to be price makers?
I'm saying price taking by consumers. I've said, look at the second line. Monopolists can set the price. And this price is accepted by consumers.
Okay, right.
Okay. Now, in case of monopoly, as you have said, the monopolist sets the price. And in perfect competition, you have the opposite. The seller has no control over price. It is simply equal to average cost, and they have to accept it. Now, the duopoly is close to the monopoly. You have one seller, you're simply introducing an additional seller. So theoretically, it should be like a monopoly. The two producers should have substantial market power and be able to set the price. But in reality, what the solution will be depends largely on how the firm takes the decision. In case of a Cournot model, the firm decides an output. So firm 1 says, I'm going to sell Q1. Firm 2 says, I'm going to sell Q2. Total supply is Q1 plus Q2. And if this entire amount is to be sold, Q1 plus Q2 is equal to S. So that means price P star will be charged. And this P star can be above AC. Okay. So P star is above AC. Here also. So this is just like here the firm is earning a profit, a supernormal profit. So it is like a monopoly. Now, in case of a duopoly, if the firms decides on the price, okay, in that case, however, we can show that the market will end up in a same type of solution as in a perfectly competitive solution. In other words, price will be equal to AC. P1 equal to P2 is equal to AC. So this is something that we want to prove. Okay. first let us delineate the structure of the model. We have got two firms, I and J. Okay. And they are similar firms. The cost function, everything is similar. Okay. Now the cost function is given by this. MC is equal to 4Q. Okay. So that means if you sell 1 unit, your marginal cost will be 4. If you sell 2 units, it will be 8. 3 units, 24, and so on. Okay. So Q is output. Right? Okay. And the demand function, which is faced by both the firms, is given by.
So, can you define that cost function again? I couldn't get it.
Okay. This is the cost function. Simply. MC is equal to 4Q when Q is the output. Now, when we are saying that function will hold for both the firms. So in case of firm I is producing QI. So MCI will be equal to 4QI. What is the second firm? J. So MCJ equals to 4QJ. QJ is the output of the jth firm. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is a demand that is faced by both the firms. Now remember that Q is equal to QI plus QJ. Okay. Okay. The cost function is actually constant. It is just 4. Firm wants to okay. If the ith firm wants to increase production, its cost is going to go up by 4 units. If the jth firm is going to increase production, its cost is going to go up 4 units. Okay. Okay. Now, what is the break-even point? Price equal to AC or price equal to 4, right? So that means price cannot fall below 4. If it does, your profit is going to be negative. You're going to incur losses. Fine. Is this clear, everyone?
Sir, AC is equal to MC.
Yeah.
Why so? We have assumed.
No. If MC is constant, okay, I'll just show it to you.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if MC is constant, AC and MC are always same.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, this pen is a bit irritating. Okay. Okay. So we have three situations. Price is greater than 4. In that case, sorry, you earn profits and you're happy. Price is equal to 4. You earn only normal profit. Sorry, let me restart the presentation. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where did I get cut off?
So you were explaining the three situations that we are taking, and after the second, you got cut off.
Okay. So you can see that if the third situation, price is less than 4, firms will incur a loss and they will exit the market. Okay. So we have two firms. Both the firms are similar. Their marginal cost is equal to average cost is equal to 4. The demand function is 20 minus 2p. Right? In these circumstances, unless price is, if you combine these two, unless price is greater than equal to 4, firms will start leaving the market. There will be an exodus of firms. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So firm J has set price equal to 7. This is firm 2's price. So it is given by P2. So let us look at firm I. Okay. firm I's price is Pi. Sorry, is equal to P1. Now this is one possibility. P1 can be greater than 7. P1 can be equal to 7. Let's discuss these two possibilities. There's a third. We'll come to that later. And keep in mind that P2 has to be greater than or equal to 4, which is the average cost. Okay. Now what happens if P1 is greater than 7?
He will incur loss too.
Why?
Because
No one will buy.
no one will buy because
Exactly. No one will buy from firm I. So his sales is 0. In this case, suppose
So
you are a
quantity will
consumer.
be splitted.
it will be half. He'll get half the profit, and firm 2 will get half the profit.
Okay. So if this is the demand, your set price equal to 7, right? You get quantity. And this will be shared equally. We assume that there's no preference for a particular buyer. Okay. In that case, demand will be simply shared. Okay. Now, in this case, what is Q7? What is market demand? Market demand, remember, market demand was 20 minus 2p. What is price? 7. So 14, this will be 6. So that means Q1 is equal to Q2 is equal to 3. Right? So each person is going to sell an amount of 3 units. What is total revenue? It is
P into Q.
P1 into
21.
Q1.
Into Q1.
This is equal to 21. And what is profit? Total revenue is 21. TC you can write as AC into Q. What is AC? 4.
So 3 into 4 equals to 12.
4 into
12.
That means
12.
profit will be
So how
9.
9.
So your profit is
9.
9. In fact, because of the symmetricity, firm 1 and firm 2 are similar. TR2 will also be equal to 21. Pi 2 will also be 9. Right? Okay. So this is the revenue when P1 is equal to 7. What is TR1 when P1 is greater than 7? Do you sell anything?
0.
Yeah. P into Q, let us say price is 8. What is Q? 0. What is profit? There's no point in producing.
Loss.
Let me see. No, in that case, what will happen is it will simply not produce anything. Right? It is neither producing nor selling. So profit also will be equal to 0. And
in this case,
yes, in this case, P1 greater than 7, you're not going to produce anything. You know that you're not going to sell anything. So why produce? Output also will be 0, right?
yes, sir.
Now let us take the third case. P1 is equal to 7. Let us assume that P1 is 7 minus theta when theta is very small. Okay. In this case, he's going to capture the market. Right? Okay. So total revenue is P into Q. What is P? P is 7 minus theta. What is Q?
6.
20. No. Wait. It is P minus epsilon. Sorry, P minus theta. Okay. Can you find this out, please?
So 7 minus theta or
So it should be 7 minus theta, not P minus theta.
for Q?
This is 7 minus theta.
No, sir.
I've written
After
7.
2
After
minus
that,
2,
20
7 minus
minus
theta.
7
Oh, I've
minus.
written P. Yeah. Yeah, 7 minus theta. Okay, 7 minus theta. Let's split it. 20. This will be minus 14 plus 2 theta. Okay, so this will be 42 plus 8 theta minus theta. Okay. Right? Theta is very small. If theta is almost negligible, you can say that TR1 will become 42. It is going to be slightly less than 42. Marginally less. Let's say 41.999. Okay. So he's captured both the market. This is for TR1 plus TR2 was also 21. So he's capturing this total revenue plus he's capturing firm 2's total revenue. Right? And what is pi 2? Pi 2 is this expression minus 4 into the quantity. What is quantity? This part. So it is
6 plus 2 theta.
6 plus 2 theta. So if you simplify this, it will be 18 minus 2 theta square. Okay. Now, if theta tends to 0, what is TR1? You can simply ignore them. TR1 is
42.
And pi 1 is similarly 18. Okay. So how do we sum this up? Okay. So R1 is equal to, we can write this as right? And the profit function will be for these three cases. Okay, I'm not writing them. There's no space. So if P1 less than 7, Pi1 will be equal to this. P1 equal to 7, this and this. Okay. Right? So we can generalize this and write it in this way. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full.
Sir, please show that slide again.
Yeah. Okay, it's best if
Okay,
you can,
sir, yes.
if you work it out yourself also. Okay. Now, how do we draw this? Okay. See, if you look at the revenue function, I'm writing down the functions over here. P1 if P1 is less than 7. What will be total revenue? Start from 0. Suppose you don't charge any price. What will be total revenue?
0.
0.
Sorry, I've made a mistake over here. Actually, this pen is very, it should be price. Okay. So if P1 is 0, you start from here. If P1 is 1, so 18.
18.
2.
16. In 16 into 2.
16 into, so it's
32.
3, 14 into 3, 42.
42.
Right. So it's going to go up, right? But it's, as you can see, the increase is coming down. Okay. And finally, we reach a price level of 7. In this case, we had seen that it was 21. Okay. So it's going to go up like this over here, right? P1 is greater than 7. Will anyone buy from you?
0.
So this. So that means your function is going up like this. It is continuous over here. Then just over here, you have a discontinuity. The point is here. There's a discontinuity over here. It falls to this point.
Sir, what
Sorry. No.
Sir, but won't revenue fall when price equals 7?
No. Sorry. I made a mistake over here. 21 p equal to 7. Sorry, when p equal to sorry, this. Just wait a minute. Wait, let me orient myself. See, you have seen previously that if the price is just a little below 7, it is going to be 42, right? So this
Yes.
point is 42. If price is equal to 7, then you get 21. Okay. Sorry, this should not be there. Okay. So when price goes up from 0, your total revenue starts increasing. Just a little before 7, you reach the maximum of 42. You're capturing the entire market. At price equal to 7, your revenue falls to 21. Over here, this is the, if you increase price, this is your revenue. Okay. So we have a discontinuity at P equal to 7. Clear? Now, if you come to profit over here, there are two important levels, 4 and 7. Remember, 4 is the break-even price. So below this, you are going to have losses, right? This is the break-even point where profit is 0, after which your profit is going to go up further. But at 7, see over here, profit is maximum just below 7, right? If you remember the earlier slide. And At equal to 7, profit is equal to 9. Okay, so there's a gap over here. I'm not coloring the entire, I'm keeping it as a circle. But here I'm coloring the circle. So that means at price equal to 7, instead of following the function, it drops to here. And thereafter, this is again the profit function. Okay. Is it clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now firm 1 and 2 are symmetrical. So if we rework the entire thing by assuming that firm 1 sets a price of 7 and now firm 2 has to decide, you're going to get the identical results. Instead of having R1 over here, it will be R2, this will be P2, pi 2, P2. That is the only difference. But the shape of the functions, the positions, everything is going to be same. So you can see that in a Bertrand model, what will happen is you're going to have a function which is continuous just before 7. 7 is a point of discontinuity. Similarly, the profit function will start from losses. You cross the break-even point, but at price equal to 7, you again have a discontinuity. Okay. So there's a discontinuity at p equal to 7. Okay. This will be B6. Okay. Now, the point that we want to make is that if you focus on the discontinuous point in either revenue or profit function, we can find out the solution. You know what equilibrium is, right? It is a situation where agents don't, it is a solution from which agents do not want to deviate from, right? Has MD discussed equilibrium with you? Marshall
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. So the objective over here is we want to find out that, okay, this is how the firms take their decisions. Ultimately, what will happen? What is equilibrium? At what point they reach a position where they don't want to change anything? See, if firm 1 sets a price of 7, what should firm 2 do? It should reduce its price to 7 minus theta, right? Let us say it is 6.9. In that case, what should firm 1 do to capture the market?
It should also reduce its price.
Right? So now it becomes 6.8. What will firm 2 do? 6.7, and this will go on. So we have a leapfrogging. But in the leapfrog game race, you want to become first. Here, it is a race to the bottom. Who can lower price more? Okay. So we start from here. Let us say this is price, and let us say this is time. So we start from 7, and price is going down. Will it go down indefinitely?
No, sir, up till 4.
No, sir.
Up till?
Cost.
It becomes
4.
equal to AC.
So this is the limit, right? So price will be reduced continuously in a stepwise manner till we reach 4, which is the break-even point. Once we reach 4, there's no point in lowering price further. If we lower price further, we have losses. Okay. If you increase price, no one will buy. Right? So at price equal to 4, the market equilibrium is attained. No firm has the incentive to deviate from this price. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can the producers not decide among themselves some other price?
Yeah. What you're talking about now is something which we call collusion. They can form a cartel. Cartels refer to collusion between firms. So they can jointly decide that they are going to charge a price of 4 plus theta. Right? And no one will deviate. Now, what are the problems over here? There are two problems. One is it is illegal. We call this restrictive trade practices. So that means if you get caught, you're in trouble. But in spite of this, we have seen, particularly in USA, where the RTP acts are very strictly enforced, firms try to collude in various ways. See, what happens is, if you have to set 4 plus theta, you have to determine what theta is, right? Can you determine theta arbitrarily? I might choose theta as 0.2, you might choose theta as 0.3, right? So we have to sit together and decide what theta will be. Clear? Now,
Yes, sir.
the problem is, in that case, we will have to meet. We have to have a meeting and decide what should be theta. Now, what the US government does is they have a restrictive trade practices commission. They keep an eye on both the firms and see whether they are meeting secretly or not. As soon as they meet, they will come and catch them and say, what is the purpose of the meeting? Why have you, after this meeting, you have suddenly raised prices? So firms can get into a lot of trouble. And in response, what has happened to us, firms also try many sorts of tricks. What they do is, in fact, there was something which was called bidding by the lunar calendar. So based on which day of the lunar calendar it was, full moon, new moon, they decided on the prices. So you don't have to meet. You just have to look at the lunar calendar. They made secretly, they said that, okay, we are going to have a tea party of my son. My son will has a birthday today. So I'm going to hold a tea party in the lunch party in the hotel. Meanwhile, the other firm says that, okay, my dog is going to have a marriage wedding birthday. So I'm going to hold another dinner party in the same hotel. And secretly they'll come out, meet each other, decide on theta, and go off. If you're interested, I can give you some material, just a slight reading on how the firms, different strategies by which firms collude. So one problem is that if you try to collude and you get caught, then you will be in trouble. The other is that you can have an incentive to defect. For instance, this is the price. Okay. This is the price that we have agreed. Now, suppose P1 charges what will happen?
Sir, it will capture the market.
He's going to capture the entire market. Right? But P2 can also play the same game. P2 will also be trying to So what happens is both firms will try to defect. So you arrive at an agreement. Once the agreement is made, you will have an incentive to break the agreement. The good thing is, see, you can't go and complain about an agreement which is illegal. The government will simply turn back and say, look, why did you make an agreement? It was illegal. So you can't enforce it. So just because the other firm has broken the agreement, you can't ask him to be punished. So cartels have been formed in the past, but they have a very, very stormy history. If you read this book, I don't know whether they have the section as yet. We had the old Ferguson Gould. There was a section on the great electrical cartel. The electrical companies got together and formed cartels. But what happened was cartels were formed, some firms cheated, they again reformed, the cartels broke down, they again reformed, and this just went on and on. So I'll give you some material from Church and Warehouse, a few pages. You can just go through it and see how they try to form cartels illegally. Okay. So any questions?
Sir, is cartel illegal in India also?
It is illegal in India also, but the problem is the Restrictive Trade Practices Act is not enforced strictly.
Oh, okay, sir.
Sir, if it is illegal, how do these firms earn so much of profits?
See, illegal means you're not supposed to do it. It doesn't mean that it is going to result in losses. Why do they do something illegal? To earn profits. That is the incentive. If you form a cartel, you can substantially increase your profits. That's why they do it. Illegality is something that is determined by the government because it affects the consumers adversely. It's because that they are profits. That's why they do it, indulge in such practices. Okay, any other questions? So I'm going to close this. I will post the material, Church and Ware. But remember two things. Cartels, what I've discussed today, is not part of your internal assessment. Okay. The second thing is I will post some material, but don't read it now. Read it. It's not part of your course. Read it after MD's exam. When is MD's exam?
29th.
29,
29.
Oh, then you have time. Read it after my exam. Read it after Wednesday. And remember that the material I'm giving is not part of your course. It's just for your interest. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So if there are no other questions, I'm going to close down the paint and stop recording.